Hey, we're live on that one. Hello, everybody. It's time for the 7 o'clock talk. I'm going to go live on Instagram here. Supposedly, we are on Instagram and Twitter and. So, Jessica is making.
Well, we call it pumpkin fluff. And for everybody that likes the recipe, this isn't for you. If you cook like your granny or my granny, you just throw it together. This recipe is so forgiving. That's what we're going to do. We're just going to throw it together. Nobody ever complains. But this is just optional. This is organic pecans, and they're just crunched. We got a little bit of butter, a little bit of cane sugar, and cinnamon.
Did you use cane or did you actually use coconut?
I said cane, but I meant coconut palm sugar.
So coconut palm
this
sugar
is organic.
Does not have the same effect on the body that like white sugar does. It doesn't cause as big a glycemic response. And this is not super sweet. It's just sweet enough that it's awesome.
Yeah, and this is just for garnish. If you like pumpkin pie and you don't want to have gluten, and you don't want like graham cracker crust, you can use this and crunch it up in your blender really fine, and you can push it into your pan and then bake it, and then you get like a crunch crust. But this is kind of like a no-bake cheesecake.
Yep.
And it's wonderful, and everybody loves it.
So tell them what your ingredients are.
These are super simple. You have cream cheese. Now, preferably, you're going to let this warm up. So hopefully it's warmed up enough. And it's okay because you're going to let it sit back in the refrigerator, and you're going to let it. There's two here. We're going to try to put one in. I've tried to cube it up so it'll blend a little better. So you just put it in there. You don't have to have anything. You don't have to do anything special. I cube it just because it warms up quicker and then it'll blend easier. But this is how you literally make this. I'm sure you can find a recipe. I usually put about 2 blocks of cream cheese. I put 1 block in at a time. And we had to improvise because we don't usually use half and half, but it's so close to Thanksgiving that everybody wiped out the
heavy whipping cream.
So we use just about a third of a can per blend here. So this is organic pure pumpkin, not pumpkin pie mix, just pumpkin.
Once again, pumpkin also has a lot of fiber.
Yes. And I love vanilla. Put a splash of vanilla. Measure it with your heart. That's what everybody is. We love cinnamon.
Measure with your heart.
But we love cinnamon, so put as much cinnamon as you want. We love it, so I put a lot in. We're just going to stir these because this will actually make like a little caramelized glaze on the top of those nuts, and it's kind of there, so you can just turn it off and it'll finish doing its thing. I wish you could smell this. It smells amazing.
Oh yeah.
And so. Again, this is half and half. You would preferably use organic heavy whipping cream. You put a little in there. And we're just going to blend it. So we got to put palm sugar. And this is just however you like it. We're probably going to use half a scoop. And that's probably a tablespoon. And then we have a little Ninja that I love. I'm not a gadget person. I absolutely love this gadget, and I use it every day, twice a day, maybe more. And I actually wore one out. So this is a large version, this is a small version. I prefer this one, but that's how I'm going to do it. And I'm just going to blend it, and we might have to put more.
That's what we blend our amino acids in morning drink in. You can use a blender. You can use.
And I blend it for like 20 seconds. And so this is one batch. We're going to make 2. But
let me see.
You can.
You always got to test it. Quality
Yeah,
control.
and so with whipping cream, it would be thicker. It's still going to set up fine. And
If you like pumpkin cheesecake, this is the bomb. It's not overly sweet. And if you are somebody who is used to, overly sweet stuff, if you drink sodas or if you drink Diet Cokes and stuff like that, add a little more sugar to taste. But
yeah,
I don't need it.
It's just a really forgiving recipe. So we're just going to do the same thing again. Now, if you had a bigger blender or you were blending it in a bowl, you could just put it all in at one time and do it all at once.
She refuses to use the KitchenAid.
I just don't like, I am not a gadget person. I don't care to make, it irritates me. So we're going to do it all over again. I'm actually going to make one more after those other 2 blocks warm up. But this is pure pumpkin. So the difference between pumpkin pie mix and pure pumpkin is it's got sugar and it's got all the spices in there. I don't like it. But you could probably use that. This is healthier for you.
And now she's adding a little bit of vanilla.
Splash of vanilla, ground cinnamon, and probably about a tablespoon of coconut sugar, and probably at least a quarter, maybe a third cup.
I was going to say about a third.
Cup of you don't have to worry about washing that because Jordan's going to do the same thing. So then we're going to blend this up again.
Honestly, we ate this the other night. Like she said, she goes about 20 seconds.
And it's easier if you warm your cream cheese up, but like I said, it's going to get put in the refrigerator and it's going to set up. So what we couldn't do for you tonight is whip the cream, but all you do, if you have one of these blenders, you just put heavy whipping cream in it, a little bit of vanilla, and you can put cinnamon. You can season.
The off-screen helper, the hand that comes in.
Mm-hmm. I need a smaller one. Might be okay. Yeah, it's not useful because it's too big, so it just makes more mess. Anyway, you just scrape out your thing. My spoon is fine. It'll be fine. Anyway, you'll just smooth this out in your dish, and then you take fresh whipping cream, a little vanilla, a little coconut palm sugar for flavor, and you can put more cinnamon or pumpkin spice or whatever you want to put in there. Or you can just put whipping cream with a little of your palm sugar and vanilla, and you add it to the top.
And we ate this the other night with just graham crackers.
Trevor had the graham crackers. But if you like the crunch of a graham cracker, but you don't want the
gluten,
that's what these pecans are for. So this, you would just put in the refrigerator. You could whip your cream, of course. We'll whip the cream when we find the cream, if we find the cream. And that's all you do. This is a healthy version of pumpkin cheesecake, I guess you would call it. We call it pumpkin fluff, but once it sets up, it has the consistency of a no-bake cheesecake, and it has a lovely pumpkin flavor, but it's not overpowering. It's not like your pumpkin spice or something like that. It's not super sweet, but it's just a wonderful little treat.
And taste your mixture as you go, because if you don't like the sweetness, adjust it to your sweetness. You can use the coconut sugar. You can also use honey. What's looking for, hun?
Nothing. I was gonna put this in there, but I don't want to because I'm gonna make another one, but we don't have to make it right now. I'm waiting for my cream cheese to warm up. Anyway, this can of pumpkin we'll probably use, if you wanted to make it for a family, I would say 3 bricks of cream cheese, a can of pumpkin puree, just real pumpkin. Probably, well, I would probably use 3 tablespoons of cinnamon, but we love cinnamon. And cinnamon is good for you. It's good for your blood pressure, and it's good for your blood sugar.
Yep, helps modulate blood sugar.
I would probably say a tablespoon of vanilla, and probably 3 tablespoons of cane sugar, and probably a cup of milk. And
in the whole thing.
Yeah, and that would do that whole dish. And then I would probably take a small carton of whipping cream and whip it. Be careful with whipping cream. Don't over whip it because you will get butter flakes in your whipping cream. When your blender makes the noise, it changes noises, stop blending.
You almost make that sound like you speak from experience on that.
I have made butter with my whipping cream. And it tastes lovely, but if you're wanting whipping cream, it does not taste good. Anyway, that's how we make our pumpkin fluff. So there is a healthy version to satisfy your pumpkin need at Thanksgiving without gluten.
And there went the rest of the cinnamon.
Yep, I love the cinnamon. And we're going to put a little half and half. We do not use normally half and half. Normally it is whipping cream.
Do you want one of your things here?
And we will put one more brick in.
You putting that one in there too, or are you making that separate?
No, I'm making this to put into that.
Scissors are right there above you.
And then we don't have whipping cream, so we can't make the topping for it, of course. But you don't have to have the whipping cream.
We didn't use the topping the other day.
Adores this, and we have a lot of diabetics in our family currently.
That doesn't spike blood sugar.
Yeah, they didn't get the alarms and didn't feel bad and didn't get any of that terrible stuff. So, and don't ever, if you really like something and it's the holiday, figure out a way to get the things that you enjoy in a healthier version, and that's kind of what we did.
Yep.
So this will be the last one. I did not cut that into little cubes. And you will see that it's so forgiving. It doesn't even matter. So you can cut it up. You don't have to. There's no magic. You just measure with your heart, and it never turns out bad.
She's got hers down to a science for us.
And
So
if your pumpkin doesn't get blended in because it got stuck in the top, you just stir it on in there.
But before you empty everything out of the container, taste it. And then you can actually shift it how you want to shift it.
Yeah, and if you don't like cinnamon, you like pumpkin pie mix, you want nutmeg. I hate nutmeg, so I never put nutmeg in it. But if you like that, add it. Add whatever spices you want. Pumpkin is just a wonderful vegetable. It can be savory. It can be sweet. It's got that beautiful beta carotene in there. It's got lots of fiber. You've got a Halloween pumpkin left over. Bring it in, bake it. Puree it yourself. And anyway, there is a beautiful dish. It will set up really nice in the refrigerator. And then tomorrow, if we are lucky enough to find, Trevor loves it, so he'll.
I can't do it with the camera. I have no depth perception.
We will put whipping cream on it. Let our nuts. I don't know if you can see those. but they have like a nice glaze on them.
They tasted good.
They're like candied, and they're not super sweet. The cane sugar is not really sweet at all, just hint of sweet. So those aren't very sweet, but they got a lot of cinnamon, and it just makes everything stick. So you'd sprinkle that on top.
You gonna do that now?
Nope, because we're gonna put whipped cream on it tomorrow.
Oh, we're gonna make the whipping cream. So with that all being said, thank you for watching. If you haven't joined our newsletter, go ahead and go to Integrated Health of Indiana and join the newsletter. We give recipes there all the time. This recipe we didn't do, but we did do a turkey recipe for when you have leftover turkey. And then she will post the pumpkin fluff to the website. We'll get that done. Maybe not in time for Thanksgiving, but probably in time for...
Good stuff.
Yep, probably in time for Christmas. Thank you. And I don't think there's anything else left to say other than if you are needing help with your blood sugar, if you're a diabetic, whatever health issue you may have, that's exactly what we do. We help people actually get to the point that they feel like doing stuff and they're healthy and their blood labs look good. And I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. And with this one, I think we'll discuss, if you're a diabetic and you need help getting that under control, we're here for you. You were going to say something?
That took less than 20 minutes to put together.
Yep. Super easy dessert. Thank you.
And I will say ours isn't very sweet. So if you wanted it to be sweeter, you would probably add more coconut sugar.
Coconut sugar or honey, because honey will give it a lot of sweetness too. Thank you and have a good evening.